Hello and welcome to the very first speed build with Tilatrivia. This week we're going to start building a boat. Um, yeah. So here we're going to start with the bow, or the bow, or the bow. I'm gonna call it the bow. And yeah. So here I'm making some measurements with my World Edit Axe. I've got a predefined width that I want this boat to be. So after I've figured out how wide I've already made the ship, I will, after I've made it wide enough, I've curved off the ends of the bow to go straight back for the rest of the ship to the very back, where I'm gonna curve it somehow. So now I'm adding a blue stripe underneath what I've already built. This blue stripe will be level with the very first deck I'm going to build. And then after this blue stripe, I'm adding more bow to the ship, as you can see here. And you can see I've added a bit of floor, a bit of deck. I'm going to use wood for the outside sections, and then I'm going to use light gray for the inside, the indoor, under roof sections. Here you can see me adding a bit more deck floor to a bit more wood up here, and soon I'm going to add some stairs. So at the beginning here, I do a lot of switching back and forth and changing and destroying and changing what I'm doing. Based on what I like and want to see. So, yeah. I first thought I was going to have a wraparound, like on the ship, a wraparound deck, an outside deck that will go all the way around the ship, just like on the ship, to the left of this one. But I soon decided no. I also decided I wanted 2 staircases going up, maybe like spiraling up, but I didn't know how I was going to do a spiral, so I started experimenting with something similar to this, so that you can kind of walk out, in between the staircases. That posed another problem. How am I going to fit a door in an odd-sized space? Because that was odd, because the width of the ship is actually 29 blocks, and that is odd, so you can't really fit a double door in there. And I didn't want to have a single door, so that brought up a problem later. Here I'm adding the deck above the first one that I built, and just here I am building a bit more deck underneath the stairs, and starting on a wall back there. I still haven't decided exactly where the wall is going to go, but yeah, here I'm thinking about how am I going to fit these doors back there, and I'm just running around looking at it, trying different stuff, and eventually I decide to take a bit out from under the stairs. Now the ceiling is a bit lower there. Here you see me taking it out. The ceiling is a bit lower there, but it does exactly what it's supposed to, so I'm happy about it. And here you can see what I did there. You can see it goes under the stairs, and you can indeed come out between the stairs. Now here I'm changing the floor to gray wool, light gray wool, and the walls are going to be white. You can see I'm putting in doors, and I did a lot of changing the walls. I put a wall in, and then destroy it immediately, and put it somewhere else. So I did that quite a few times, more than once. Here I'm putting in some more walls. This is pretty much how the walls stayed. And here I'm changing the floor a bit more, adding some doors in, and adding some more floor. Adding a bit more deck above, and plus some wall for the deck above. And here I start thinking about how I'm going to space out the doors. Now, I was sure I wasn't going to put a door right next to each other, so I decided to stagger it like that. You'll see later that I come in and change that, but not quite yet. Here I'm adding a bit more floor to the first deck that I started with. I don't know if it's, I don't want to call it the main deck, but it is the first deck that I built. So here I'm putting in some torches to light the area up, and I'm now extending the wall upward and adding flooring to the upper deck. Now, today, I only get to 3 decks, because there's more than one decks, there's gonna have to be stairs. So, for stairs, I decide I really like a sort of open area, where if you're going up or down the stairs, you can see what's around you and you're not in this enclosed space. So, I make this open area, and I begin to put in a window instead of the two middlemost doors that were up on the upper deck. And I've finished putting in the window. I get a little lazy with World and use World Edit to finish up that window, even though it would have taken me just the same amount of time to put those in myself. So I start working on the bottom deck, and I don't think I want the stairs to go any further down from that point, so I go ahead and fill it in all the way. Next, I do a bit of work to the ceiling, and accidentally break a door. As you'll see here in a second. There it goes. So, continue working up the wall, and then, after a bit of thinking, I decide I'm going to start jumping around. No. Here we go. I'm going to start making the wall go back further. And yes. So, I do that for a little while, and actually make it to the point that I want to be. Point I want to be at. I then get a little lazier, and oh yeah, and then make a few changes to the front. Go back and forth a bit, making a few changes to the front of the ship. Then I get a little lazier and World Edit in some of the floor. Next, I am just extending this pathway, and at this point I realize this area is way too big for the stairs that I want there. So, I begin making it smaller, and sizing it, changing the size a bit. And then I decide that that's the size that I want it to be. So, I begin adding more floors. And here I put 4 pillars, 1 for each corner of the stairs. And, yeah, so here you see the 4 pillars, and then I'm going to begin putting in the stairs. And half levels, so they're halfway in between each level. You turn around and go up the next flight of stairs, up to the next level. So, I'm adding a few more floors, adding torches. I didn't add torches quite yet. Here you see a nice aerial view of the entire ship, and notice that the back of the ship, the back section of the ship is very square. I want to fix that someday. I don't get to it today, but it will someday in the future. And it starts raining, but I turn the rain off because I really don't like it raining, especially when I'm doing a speed build. Rain's just loud and obnoxious. That is it. That's all rain is. That's all rain's good for. So here you see me filling in the rest of the floors, rest of the deck, as we wrap up this speed build. Next time, we're gonna go ahead and go underwater and finish up the front of the bow. I have been Tilatrivia, and thank you for watching.